What's up, Leafs Nation? It's your guy James from Offside, and there is tons going on in Leafland right now. This is your short, quick Leafs Offside pod. Let's get into it, starting with Sheldon Keefe kind of lighting a fire, ripping maybe one William Nylander, saying he's not driving the play, driving the net, or doing the things that was making him successful earlier in the year, kind of coasting on his laurels, if you will, and Sheldon Keefe will not liking it. And as you can see, it's William Nylander on the third line. And he's saying with two speedy guys, William Nylander should be able to drive that line and do a bit more. And I don't disagree. William Nylander's looked a little disengaged, a little floaterish, if you will, as of late. And he could be just saving it for the playoffs. But he's at 35 goals. Would like to see William Nylander break the 40 mark. Would like to see him get there. So there's no reason why William Nylander shouldn't be doing what his other two teammates are doing in Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews and taking his game to the next gear. Same thing with JT. I know he's probably just a little tired, so you might need to give Father JT a little fatherly time off to get the Jets back up in order. But for Willie, he should be driving play. He should be doing a whole bunch of different little things that the Maple Leafs need him to do. And I know not too long ago, we were wow and awe of William Nylander scoring these goals in overtime and picking guys' pockets. But we need that consistently, especially with the playoffs up and coming. The Maple Leafs need William Nylander to be on his game. So Sheldon Keefe, right to rip the star player, right to kind of put it out there in the media that we need more from Willie. We need this guy to be on fire, turned up, and ready to go for the Maple Leafs, especially during the last 13 games and heading into the playoffs. You want to be at your optimal best. So saying this about Nylander, as much as some would say you're throwing him under the bus, I would say you're trying to light a fire underneath William Nylander. Coming out of practice today, too, it was confirmed by Ilya Samsonov, not the injury per se, but that it is something that he is dealing with that flares up from time to time, and he manages it. He feels good having a few days off. Also, he does have a newborn child on the way, so he probably will be away from the Maple Leafs coming up here soon, a la Luke Shen, who just welcomed his third child into the world as well. But Samsonov saying it's something that it's a little bit of an injury. It's nothing crazy, but sometimes you feel this one, is what Samsonov is saying here. So you take that for what it is. It's something that hopefully doesn't turn into more than what it is right now, but the Maple Leafs are obviously fully aware of it, obviously going to manage him and what's going forward. And maybe you get to see Joel Woll in one of these games and allow Samsonov a little bit more of rest time. But the goalie that I'm worried about too is Matt Murray, giving up 4+ goals in each of his last few starts. That's something that needs to dovetail and curb and be gone and allow Matt Murray to get a game where he allows only maybe one or two, and the defense is stout in front of him. And the Leafs will be without one stout defenseman, actually, as Mr. TJ Brodie, not at practice today, blocked a shot against the Ottawa Senators. And that shot block has rendered him out of practice and pretty much a game time decision for tomorrow. He didn't skate, and we will make a decision on him tomorrow, is the exact words from Sheldon Keefe. Given the fact there's 13 games left, I don't think you need to put a guy like TJ Brodie out there if you don't need to. You don't need to play a guy like TJ Brodie just because you feel you might need the extra boost defensively in your lineup. You saw them sit Mark Giordano, which is I think a smart thing. But Giordano will be back in, obviously, tomorrow night against the Isles. He wants to keep the engine running. But for TJ Brodie, if he's dealing with anything foot, shin, leg related from a block shot, I'll give him a couple days off. You got 4 games this week. Maybe give him 2 of them off and have him in the back-to-back. Or you can play him. Play him against Carolina and play him against Nashville, if that's the way it shakes out, or vice versa. Whatever the middle game is, allow him to have that off before the back-to-back and give TJ Brodie a little extra time off the ice to heal up. You're heading towards the playoffs. If you have the opportunity to have guys as healthy as they need to be, let them be healthy. Let them be healthy. Let them heal up and let them get back into doing what they need to do. Speaking of doing what they need to do, one Nola Shari, Mr. Cookie himself, took part in full practice, felt good, and all signs point to him playing tomorrow. So, Leaf Nation, we can collectively take a big breath and thank our lucky stars that it wasn't serious. The high collision hit with Jesse Puljujärvi did not render Noel Acciari out for more than the end of that game against Carolina and the Saturday game against the Senators. Only was an abundance of caution. So you will see Noel Acciari back on that fourth line that has been mighty effective, by the way. And David Camp, I saw your faceoff numbers last game, my friend. Bring those up. You have to bring those up, especially heading towards the playoffs, and I know we will. But it's good to see Noel Acciari coming back for the Maple Leafs. And what do we think about the lines for the Maple Leafs, by the way? You look at the lines in practice today, Järnkrok, Matthews, and Kerfoot. Järnkrok looks like he might be a guy that can ride shoddy with Matthews, no problem. Speed, shot, can pass. Loving what I'm seeing from Yarns. Maybe he feeds Matthews and reciprocates the passes that were given to him on Saturday night. But Järnkrok looking good there. I like putting Marner back with Tavares. Why do I say that? Well, you need to get good old fatherly John Tavares rolling, and Marner knows how to do that. And Bunting might just be a spark plug on that line to get everybody yippee-yapping and having fun and playing that brand of hockey as well. McMahon, love him getting the opportunity. We know Ryan O'Reilly will be one of those forwards in the bottom six, if not top six, to fill out the 12 forward ranks. But like him getting the chance here, Lafferty, I feel like it's only a matter of time until he scores. Sweet dish on the weekend, by the way. But before he scores, William Nylander, we just talked about him. We need to get him rolling. Fourth line, beautiful. Gio Hall, not excited about it, but I love Giordano. Both are shot blocking machines, so hopefully they step up. McCabe and Liljegren, okay. Riley Gustafson, I guess you're trying to get Gusty some time. I'd rather see Luke Schenn in there myself. Luke Schenn has looked good. I know he's not showing up on the score sheet and is a dashed one, but he's a player that I want in this lineup. He's physical. He clears the front of the net. He plays physical along the glass. Things the Leafs have not had. And if you just listen to our latest pod for the Leafs Weekender, we talked about the fact the Leafs have out-hit their opponents in every single game. That is important. Why? Because in the playoffs, it is a physical game. It is a war of attrition each and every round you go through. And the Leafs out-hitting their opponents, that is huge this week. But taking a guy like Luke Schenn of your lineup, you lose a little bit of that. But I think he will be a mainstay going forward. Man. And then tomorrow we will have Ilya Samsonov between the pipes, who's looked pretty darn good the past week, by the way, even dealing with an injury. Now, an interesting note coming from practice today is one Nick Robertson on the ice. He's been in town for the past few days. He's been skating, doing solo work. I know he's a whiles off, but it's good to see the young man back, skating with the team, doing different things, being around the guys. Could be a boost in the locker room. Who knows how far off he is? We might get some updates here that trickle in, but nothing was said as of yet, as the team does head to the island to play the New York Islanders tomorrow night. Ladies and gentlemen, these little pods, they will be a thing. They will get you juiced up for the Leafs week that will be. We'll get you fired up with daily Leafs news, whether it's the lineups, injuries, who's doing what, who's where, what's happening. So if you like these, please make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, and let them know that Offside not only has the big podcasts, but we got the bite-sized ones to keep you informed and up to date on what's going on with the Toronto Maple Leafs heading down the stretch run and into the playoffs. But you know what it is around these parts. It's Offside Hockey Talk, where the Maple Leafs and hockey come to talk.